I haven't even come on screen and I've made a technical error. I wasn't supposed to play that intro, so we may get a copyright claim for it. I don't know. It's been a while since we've used that music. Oh, well, you all missed me, didn't you? Hello, I'm back. My name is Rob, and welcome to the Tuesday channel audit live streams here at vidIQ. For the next 90 minutes, you will be submitting your channels, getting a little bit vulnerable, a little bit transparent, but willing to share your journey here on this creative landscape as we critique, offer feedback, inspiration, motivation, and of course, a little bit of comedy along the way as we take ourselves and you on this incredible YouTube journey. I cannot do this without a fantastic co-host who was running the reins last week in my absence. He goes by the name of Dan. He's always surprised when I bring him on screen. And there he is. What's going on, Dan? Welcome back to the channel audit live stream. How are you, sir? He's gone. Great. Well,
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, he's back. Hi, Dan. How was the live stream in my absence?
I'm going to say it was good because I assume you're not going to watch it. So good.
Oh, right. Well, I did watch the memes of the week. Oh. They were excellent.
Yeah.
They may be making a return, of course, later on in this live stream. And of course, part of those memes of the week were Jen. Apparently, she has a license to kill. She's absent today. Make of that what you will. Dan, I love the fact that you have a license to cuddle. That humored me immensely, but I also thought that is Dan to a T. Brilliant. But now we'll bring in another person with a license to give you exceptional YouTube advice, making their debut here today on the live stream. Please, everybody, give a very, very warm welcome to Tori.
Hi,
I
guys.
think we're allowed to ask 3 questions to you. And so I'm going to ask one. Dan, you can ask one, and we'll take one question from the community. So my question to you, Tori, is what's your favorite YouTube channel?
Ooh, that's a great question. My current favorite YouTube channel is Sydney Adams King. She's a lifestyle channel with health and wellness focus. I really enjoy watching her content.
Cool. Dan, what is your question?
From the creator perspective, why did you become interested in YouTube in the first place?
Ooh.
I really loved the opportunity to connect with people all over the world in different types of lifestyle. I just thought it was a really cool and unique space that I was really excited to be a part of.
And what I'm going to do here, thank you, vidIQ Chief. I was going to bring up the same one. So we already know your name. What is your quest? What is your favorite color? You can pick one of those 2 questions, Tori, and provide us with the answer.
My quest today is to provide awesome feedback in today's live stream.
Well, that's unusual for this live stream, but we commend you on the attempt to do that. Dan and myself, however, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, because I forgot to play the proper video, I'm going to do it now, and just so you understand what's going on, if you are brand new to this live stream, and here it is. This is your weekly YouTube channel audit live stream. All you need to do is use the correct link in the description, fill out the form, and we'll consider your channel for review. That's right, channel reviews are free, but you can send us a super chat and watch us discuss your question live on air. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We will share with you our knowledge, experience, and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to give a massive shout out and thanks to our moderators who do an awesome job every single live stream. And that's your onboarding done. What channels have you brought us this week? That's roughly what's going to happen for the next 90 minutes with some interruptions here and there if you are new. But right now, we will audit our first channel that's submitted on the very forms we were talking about in that introduction video and are in the description. And they are called Revenue. without the E. I've just noticed that. I was thinking, man, they've got a really good handle, but actually it's revenue, not revenue. So I didn't notice that when I was first looking at the channel. However, I think they are very much a financial channel of some kind because it's eat, sleep, and business. If we were to look at their form, their goal is to monetize. Sure, that's the goal of many creators. Their biggest obstacle right now appears to be low click-through rate and viewer retention. And so they would like us to look at their packaging and the first 30 seconds of their videos. So with that in mind, Dan, let's have a brief observation of, I guess, the thumbnails and the titles. What's, I guess, jumping out at you here?
I think these thumbnails look like I would expect them to when the channel is about money and finance. And that is to say, they're fitting within their niche pretty well. The thumbnails look of a high quality. There's like one question when they talk about their thumbnails, it's like, okay, maybe I could say this creator might be blending into everybody else's videos. Maybe they don't stand out enough, but I don't know. I think packaging is, to me, I'm more interested in like what are the ideas behind the videos, and then I can maybe judge the title and thumbnail separately. So like why luxury brands are bankrupt is kind of intriguing. I don't think that's too bad of an idea. Is minimalism really worth the mental cost? I don't know if that's the best thumbnail to express minimalism, because I think the furniture and stuff works, but it's too dark and you don't really know what they're going for. So I don't know, there's some interesting topics here. I think they're kind of tapping into something, but I don't know about you, either of you, if you feel like, is the through line here showing? Because the through line seems to be money, but is that too broad?
I think there's a through line of luxury and materialism. I think that's a bit of a through line. Yes, it's not in all of them, Dan, but that was the one that I was seeing a little bit. The one thing I just wanted to add to the packaging was I think it sometimes works and it doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the head of a federal bank in the US?
That might be him. He looks familiar. I think I don't know. I don't really have a lot of posters of him on my walls or anything. So I don't get to see him a whole lot. That might be him.
If not, I don't know who it is. And so I don't know how this person relates to luxury. So I think there's a bit of like a disconnect in the packaging there. However, if you look at this one, which is more of an outlier down at the bottom here, luxury brands art for the rich. And then it has somebody wearing a Gucci t-shirt and then a scam. I feel as if there's more kind of intrigue immediately jumping out there, although not complete. So yeah, in terms of through line, Dan, I'm seeing one develop, considering the size of the channel. But the thumbnails tend to be a bit hit and miss for me. Let's offer this up to Tori for any like first impressions, what you can immediately see here.
Some of the thumbnails I think are leaning a little bit visually busy. Specifically that middle line, there's just a kind of a lot of elements going on that my eye isn't like drawn to any specific main character element of some of those thumbnails straight away. Typically you want to have that main character element be really clear on first glance to really draw someone's attention on a very busy home feed. So I would maybe explore scaling down the number of elements you're adding to each thumbnail so that each one is a little bit more impactful.
Interesting. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think maybe, does that lean into maybe the first two thumbnails that have more of a vibrant background, but also contrasts with a colorful foreground, and there's a bit more simplicity to them?
Yeah, a little bit less like elements going on, really good contrast between the green and the red.
Right, that's the packaging I think dealt with, in the sense that this kind of this finance or luxury thread, but is it strong enough yet? Maybe they need a bit more work on thumbnails. I think certainly again for the size of a channel, there's nothing too bad here. Right. I am noticing there was a bit of a gap between they were creating content 6 to 10 months ago, and those videos were starting to get thousands of views. Then they had quite a significant break from here, and now the cadence has kind of been a little all over the shop. Having said that, they do want us to look at their hooks, so we will do after you just chime in. Did you have something?
I keep raising my hand, I guess. Sorry. There's a couple things. So I'm seeing people in chat pointing out the red text. Yes, certain thumbnails, it doesn't really work. It's hard to read. Other thumbnails, it's kind of working. I would say their best video, not for the rich, doesn't show up super well to me. It is a little hard to read, but it is their best video. And then that got me thinking about the other thing I wanted to say was going back to ideas. Luxury brands aren't for the rich. Here's why. Sounds like a really interesting idea, and I can see why that's their best video. When I look at the latest video, why luxury brands are bankrupt, it's still of the same topic, luxury brands, but it's just not really grabbing me. And I do go back to the thumbnail, as you pointed out. People might not know who that is. Also, put a luxury brand up there. Put one that really gets people's attention. Like there was a minute where people were talking about Tesla. Do you consider Tesla a luxury brand? If so, put their logo on there and their stock price.
Their financial plight. Yeah,
right. Like put something on there that's recognizable to a lot of people. Because when you see Gucci, you instantly recognize what they're talking about when you say luxury brand. You don't have to think about it. With the end of luxury, a luxury brand could be so many things. So that might have been their folly on that latest thumbnail. But I'm warming up. We're getting there.
Tori, I'm going to give you the honors. Pick a video for us to watch the first 30 seconds of.
The minimalism one has kind of piqued my curiosity.
All right, then. Is minimalism really worth the mental cost?
Minimalism promises freedom. Less stuff, more life. But what if it's secretly chaining you to a mental prison? Sounds wild, right? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll uncover how this trendy lifestyle might be messing with your mind in ways you never saw coming. Minimalism is everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, X. It's the aesthetic of calm, control, and clarity.
I'll pause it there. Thoughts?
I'm trying to decide if the voice is robotic or not. It might be. I don't know. I'll put that aside. I don't like robot voices. I that's like right on the cusp for me. I was waiting for it to flub a basic word.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it do that.
Sure.
I will also say in the first 30 seconds, and not to be too mean, but I'm a little bored. And I'm a little bored because you took a little too long to get to like this point right here, where you haven't really described minimalism yet. You haven't really like gotten into like the definition. You haven't told me as the viewer, like I don't know, when we introduce these types of videos, it's mostly like we like to focus on like the problem a creator is having with their YouTube channel, for example, and we kind of try and hit them emotionally right away. Like, you're posting videos, it's been this long, you haven't gotten any views. Well, this new tool might help you, or whatever it might be. And I think minimalism is relatable. A lot of people think about, maybe I have too much stuff, things like that, but it wasn't getting there, and I was disconnecting from it a little bit.
All right. What about you, Tori? I was just letting the video run in the background muted.
Was there a background track that I missed, or was it just the voice?
It was just the voice. Yeah, I don't think there was any music. There was a few sound effects here and there, but no music.
I would definitely explore a background track. Something about just like the lack of that can be a little bit uncomfy. Like, if you think about it, if you're in a grocery store and they turned off the music, that would be kind of weird. That was the first thing I noticed from a viewer perspective. And the pacing, I agree with Dan, felt a little bit slow to get to kind of that big moment. You want to use that first 30 seconds, especially those 15 seconds, to really hit home the idea for the video really quickly. So I thought tightening up the pacing would make a really big difference here.
I'm just going to bring up the volume again, just to see if there's any music.
And that's where things get tricky. Let's break down 3 ways minimalism can cage your mind. First up,
I'm leaning on this as a fairly decent AI voice to me, Dan.
It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm brutal with these types of channels. If this is an AI voice, we're already not putting our face in the content. This is the kind of topic where I would want to hear from a person who's been on a journey of like, I tried to minimalize my life and blah, 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 blah. Like, minimalize, is that?
Do you think that might be the part of the problem, that it maybe lacks a little bit of soul or a little bit of heart on a topic which kind of, again, can be quite emotive? Could that be where there's a bit of a disconnect?
Yeah, personally, I can see that.
I just think that when it comes to especially financial advice, there's so many channels that go this kind of faceless route for financial advice. It's just a me thing. There's obviously an audience out there for it somewhere, but I'm never going to entrust my like financials to somebody who won't like share their own story and their own journey, right? Like if this is just a robot voice, and again, I don't want to accuse them. I don't know how this video is made. It just sounds kind of like it to me. But if this is just kind of a faceless person putting up videos for the sake, they told us what their goal is, monetization. Like it wasn't about the audience and like the people they want to reach and how they want to help people or educate them or whatever. So how much of this is based in fact and personal experience? Like that's what I want from a channel like that. And as the video is playing, I'm wondering, I'm asking myself these questions. I'm the kind of viewer who will ask those types of questions, though. Maybe you can't win this type of viewer over, and that's okay. Like, I might not be your target audience, and so don't take everything I say and go, well, my channel, I should delete it. Like, not necessarily. It's just giving you my own personal take and biases.
How about this, Dan, as a final question to you? Do you think this is worthy of being described as transformational content, not something... Let's say if they did reach the requirements, it would satisfy the policy in terms of whether it's repetitious or reused content. Because we've had this discussion 2 weeks ago where we thought a channel we were looking at might not have passed that test.
I didn't pick up anything that felt, like it would cross that line of reuse repetitious. It seems like the editing we're putting into it, like, really adds a lot of transformation.
Yeah.
So like the visuals feel like they are supported by what the creator is trying to get out there, like the message they're trying to get out there. So no, I didn't get that sense at all, even if they are using, an AI voice or whatever.
I agree. It feels as if there is a human being, a creator, quote unquote, behind this channel who have, yes, maybe using several AI tools to build the videos, but they have a conscious behind them, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But that is revenue, unless anybody has any final thoughts on this channel. I take for silence as we are moving on. So let's do that. And we will have to check in with you, Tori. What's your opinion on video gaming? Are you a gamer or a non-gamer or somewhere in between?
Like I'm a retired gamer. I was like a big GameCube galley myself. I like to play like the old school games.
Mario Sunshine, Rogue Squadron 2, Luigi's Mansion, that type of era.
Harvest Moon. I played that one a lot.
Isn't it ironic that you say you're a retired gamer and that's the channel we're actually auditing here, which is crazy.
I didn't even notice that.
This is the first channel that's submitted.
I'm feeling so seen.
On the gaming forum. So the goal of a YouTube channel is to become better at finding the right topics, content in Fortnite niche, so that I can also help my son's YouTube channel grow and help him succeed. Biggest challenge is finding the right audience and keeping them watching the content we produce. And I would like us to focus on the appeal and reach of a channel and how to get a good hook to retain our viewers who click on the videos. All right, here's the first impressions. I do get the Fortnite vibe here, especially I feel as if that is a staple Fortnite iconography in thumbnails, that kind of signposting there. Blitz Royale, I don't know if is that Fortnite or is this a form of Fortnite, I guess.
It's probably one of their games. Like, because Fortnite has become kind of a platform for a bunch of different games that they have.
The thing that threw me the most when I was looking at these thumbnails is, why am I seeing Lara Croft on all of the thumbnails? And as I mouse over it, I think that's their character in Fortnite.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, just like for a complete newbie, or is this just me not knowing Fortnite at all? Would I be confused into thinking, is this a Tomb Raider video or is it a Fortnite video? I don't know. Maybe I'm not the right person to ask.
I think given that it's Fortnite, you'll probably understand where they're coming from because they just collaborate with so much. Like they could put Iron Man on there and that can still be Fortnite because that's how Fortnite is.
But usually when they have a collab, the character is kind of baked into the thumbnail, like this one with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That feels like it's part of the thumbnail, whereas the Lara Croft figure is always in one of the corners kind of cut out. And that's kind of what throws me a little bit. But maybe I'm laboring too much on this insignificant point.
I think it brings up a good point that the thumbnails to me are not compelling. The titles as well. Fortnite Blitz Week 10, Shocking Medallion Chaos. These are the types of videos where it's cool. Like we're obviously having fun with the game, but there's that part of me that's like, well, what's in it for the viewer?
Yeah.
If it's shocking medallion chaos. Now, forgive me, I don't play Fortnite, but I'm going to make a bold assumption, and it's about collecting medallions. There is something to showing that you got X many medallions in this many games or this much time or something like that. And that, I'm not saying you have to offer the audience a tutorial. That's not the value I'm talking about. It's just like, I need to understand what you're doing, and it might be really impressive for somebody to watch you achieve a certain goal in the game. So if these titles and thumbnails were more based around the goal of each video rather than very generic Fortnite Blitz, week 3, week 4, week 10, that's not compelling enough. I think you need to show me, like, I'm trying to achieve this, and this is in this video, this is like how it's going to go. You can tease a little bit with a split screen thumbnail before and after. There's all kinds of ways to do this, but right now we're making that kind of classic mistake of just saying what the video is, but not why I should watch.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Dan, I was doing a search here for week, trying to figure out if this week of things that they're doing was a bit of an outlier. Like sometimes they get views, 500 here, but last month nothing. And then the video from 3 days ago gets 400 views. It's almost a bit more luck rather than judgment on the strategy of a title in there. I'll just throw it to you, Tori. Any observations here before we dive into one of these videos?
I would just be curious why they seem to have maybe doubled down on that thumbnail design so heavily. I'm curious if it's like worked really well for them in the past. Typically, if it's not working really well for you repetitiously, I would explore and experiment with some other design styles.
Fair point. Yeah. This is their entire collection of videos. So other than this outlier here, which didn't have that character in, the majority of them with the character in are just performing, I don't want to say terribly, but they're not building any traction. You know, they have 78 subscribers and each of their videos is getting 100 views plus. So that's encouraging in one sense, but it's slow growth at the moment, if there is any.
Yeah, they definitely seem to have like doubled down on that design style towards the more recent videos. And I would definitely get back into experimenting with some different design types just to see if you can find something that sparks some movement.
Dan, you have the honors this time. Which video shall we watch?
I think we should watch the latest one.
All right, then. Fortnite Blitz week 10. Are we going to find out what the shocking medallion chaos is in the first 30 seconds?
All right, dudes, how's it going? And welcome back to my channel. We're now well into the new season of Fortnite, and I wanted to shift the attention back to Blitz Royale, which is now going strongly into its 10th week with shocking medallions. This brings the 2 highly powerful medallions from the Shock and Awesome Battle Royale season, which seem to be the main focus of the Battle Royale gameplay. How will these change the meta in Blitz? Well, let's take a look and see, guys.
I think that was a self-contained intro hook. So what do we think?
I liked it. I can already tell. A bit of a red flag to me is the audio. I noticed the game volume is quite loud, and only when the little bullets came underneath. You know, so is that going to be the whole video where the game volume is overtaking their voiceover?
Let's listen. Do another 10 seconds.
All right, dudes. As you can see, we're landing in Blitz Mega City, which is normally quite busy. We do have the character.
I don't think it's that bad, Dan. Maybe it's something lost in the translation over the internet. I agree that it could maybe the volume of a narrator could be a touch higher, but I wouldn't want to drop the sound effects too much because the mixing seemed all right there.
Okay. The other thing I noticed is there's an opportunity to put a little bit of B-roll at the beginning of the last time they introduced these medallions.
I agree.
But it's not mandatory. It just kind of helps. It breaks things up a little bit, and it kind of like gives us context in case this is our first time joining this event or whatever it might be. And then again, I think if you went into this video with a stated goal, like let's see if I can collect 10 of these today or something, like, just again, I haven't played this, so I don't know what you do, but if you came in with, like, even if you don't achieve the goal, just tell me what you're trying to aim for, and you can always, you know, raise the stakes on that as you go. Like, let's see if I can collect 10 or I delete my account. Let's see if I can collect 10, and then you put a little counter as you keep collecting them. Like, those types of things make gaming videos more engaging and fun, and it starts to tell a story. Like, the video started, you said you wanted to collect 10, we're up to 8, there's only 2 minutes left in the video, can they do it? There's it's just naturally more interesting, and that's a tip for free. You can have that.
I just want to unmute it because what it felt like to me was that he wasn't live broadcasting his recording. He like did the voiceover narration afterwards.
Yeah.
And so let's just, while the game is playing, let's see if it stays like that.
It is quite a good one, I've got to say. I know a lot of people don't like this shotty, but I quite like it, really. It's really, really good close range and does get the damage in.
I can't tell now. I can't tell if he's now live commentating or...
They're running away. We've got a Santa costume.
He sounds too relaxed while he's playing the game for it to be live.
It could be their personality.
Yeah, it could be. Could be. Anything from you here, Tori?
No, I totally agree about the stakes. Just introducing that structure and a challenge of some sort that would give me, as the viewer, something to kind of really be invested in, to stay all the way to the end, to see if you complete that challenge. I think that's going to be a really good key piece to start leaning into.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. And I think, Dan, just re-emphasizing your point at the very beginning, where in terms of editing, it feels like what they've done is recorded the game, then done a voiceover, but no editing beyond that. So like no B-roll, and maybe perhaps no cutting out of any non-interesting bits. I don't know, maybe 5 minutes is a good amount of time for this to run anyway. But without them being on screen as well, we are just, I guess, not, Dan, you call this off-the-shelf gaming. I don't think it's quite that, because they have put some concerted effort into the post-recording voiceover. But other than that, it feels like a fairly light edit to me.
Yeah, which can be fine. I mean, it is really, at the end of the day with videos like this, I really feel like it's about what is the person I'm watching trying to achieve. So I can get more invested in you and not just let the game and the interest in the theme of this event they're doing carry all of the weight.
All right, that is retired gaming there. And I've got to say, Tori, this is where things get a little weird.
Button mashing hearts collide. In this corner we take the ride. From 8-bit lands to the galaxy far. Rob's gaming corner is the brightest star.
Had enough time, I would have put you into an AI tool and done some fun stuff, but I just didn't have the time. But essentially what this part of the live stream is that we talk about not necessarily what we're doing video game wise, but what we're doing to disconnect, unhook from YouTube. For Dan and myself, it's just playing video games all the time. But for people in the chat, it might be I think Jen, for example, is into crafting, and then other people read books, watch movies, and so on. But we'll start with the regulars here. Dan, what have you been up to?
Okay, so you mentioned GameCube earlier, and so what I did is I've had this box forever because I have this mod chip I bought on back order, but I have a box full of parts to rebuild a Game Boy or GameCube. This is a whole shell.
Oh man,
this is going to eventually be my project. I'm waiting for my mod chip, but so the box has become my cat's bed. Half the box is empty, and I moved it, and immediately she got really upset. But I have this GameCube that is in need of a new shell. I got it used. It's all, you can see all the crust from all the people who used it before me. It's disgusting. It's a nasty little box, but it works. So this is going to be a project I'm really excited about. I think I'm getting my stuff soon.
So rebuilding a GameCube is your mission for the next couple of weeks.
Oh gosh,
we'll follow that with some interest.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember, I was about to embark on Donkey Kong Bonanza the last time we spoke. Some people will get this, most of you won't. But if I just say banana, that's all you need to know about this game. It is incredible. I absolutely love it. This is the game that should be bundled with the Switch, not Mario Kart.
I agree.
Have you played it, Dan?
No, I just know it's going to be good. It's on my list right now.
The main mechanic is just destroying everything. Yeah. And like, it is a beautiful mechanic, and it means you can solve the game in any way, shape, or form. That means that it's not particularly difficult, but it is so much fun. And like, when we think about Mario Odyssey, I describe like Astrobot on the PS5. I thought that was joy. I say the same thing about Mario Odyssey, and I say the same thing about Donkey Kong Bonanza. It is an expensive game, but it is a reason to get the Switch 2. That's as far as I'm going with that. It's incredible. And I've still got hundreds of bananas to find at this point.
You buy all your games physically, right?
I tend to, yeah, because it means I can trade them in. So the idea is I'll complete it and then trade it in. So it almost feels like I rented it out for maybe like $20 instead of buying it for, $90 or whatever it would be in the US.
Fair. Yeah. I like the convenience of everything being on my Switch, so I don't have to go find the cartridge.
Yeah.
But I want to get more physical games given the state of everything right now and how they just keep, making physical media disappear.
So that's what Dan and myself have been doing. So Tori, in terms of like disconnecting from YouTube, what do you do to refresh and re-energize when you go back into creating?
I'm a big outdoorsy person. I've been doing a lot of hiking recently. I live in the mountains, so anytime I can get out and do some hiking. But I've also been getting back into, we got an Xbox, so I've been playing Sims while I listen to my audiobooks, and it's been so therapeutic.
Multitasking.
Yes.
So you can do everything. You can hike, you can play Xbox, and you can listen to audiobooks at all at the same time. Well, not all at the same time.
Well, if you get the right
parts on my hike.
Yeah. What's your favorite hike for everybody out there? If you want to, something that's not too challenging, but will be an incredible first hike for people.
Bucket list hike, moderate wind cave. It's outside of Teton National Park. It's this really, really cool cave that you can hike up inside, and there's a waterfall that kind of comes over the front entrance. It's really incredible. There you go, folks. That's your recommendation this week. A bit of a personal question. Have you ever been to Vancouver? I haven't. I haven't been to Canada, actually. I would recommend the Grouse Grind. It's not a huge hike, but it's about what do we call it? Nature's staircase, and it's like 3,000 steps up about a kilometer. Yeah. And you can do it in about 90 minutes, but that's what everybody does in Vancouver. And at the top, you get a view of the city, and it's very picturesque. Nature's Stairmaster. Something like that, yeah. I think you're right. It does have some weird slogan like that to attach to it. There we are then. That is our first couple of channels audited. And what we'll do now is just let you know that if you are a Boost member here at vidIQ, then you have a special place that you can go to have a chance at getting your channel audited real soon. It's in the Boost area of a Discord section. So you do need to be a Boost member here at vidIQ. If you look for Channels for Rob and add your name to this list that's currently building, we will pick one channel from here very soon to audit. So again, just to reiterate, it is a Boost-only Discord channel. It's called Channels for Rob to help me find the right Discord channel, and we're going to pick one of these to audit soon. And look, Sims, maybe they're going to get preference. We're supposed to pick by random, but now you know, Tori, it's channel 12. I'm just trying to drop subliminal hints there for later on. Anyway, we'll audit a channel here that came up in the forms. And this is Blades Myth. And they are a very new channel, but I thought it was quite interesting. Just 300 subscribers at the moment. And obviously from the thumbnails, it seems very clear that they are into some type of knife collection or knife making. Let's find out a little bit more from their form. They want to build a community of people with sun-kissed interest. I don't know what that means. Am I just being an idiot here? What does that mean? Anyone? Okay. Let us know in the chat what that means. And to watch myself grow as a weaponsmith. And the biggest obstacle right now is putting out content. It's a bit vague. I'm not sure what that means. Do we have enough time, or do we not have any good ideas, etc.? And they would like us to just look at the thumbnails, editing, video quality. So pretty much the whole thing here. But there aren't that many videos to go with. They have 3 long-form pieces of content and 4 shorts, but already some success here with a couple of shorts getting tens of thousands of views. I don't really know where to start here.
So like, let's just start throwing stuff onto the audit here. What do we think?
The text on the thumbnails is pretty small. On that first one, I can't even read it. For small display areas, I would explore a cleaner text font and
Yep.
maybe scaling those up a little bit bigger so that they aren't lost at small display sizes.
Do we have a default text that we recommend for this?
I think so.
Is it Riffle is the one that's kind of big and chunky? It's a bit Mr. Well, the Mr. Beast one is comic or access, but I think Riffle can be big, fat and chunky, but still has a bit of a cartoony vibe to it, which these do a touch.
I was going to say the contrast in the shorts versus the longs. Like I can see the knives way better in the shorts than I can the long.
Yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? And
Yeah.
these will just be freeze frames, we presume, from the videos. That's a good observation, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because like a green, is it like grass green background, and not always the case on these? Like especially this first one, it kind of matches the texture of the wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're deliberately trying to put the knife in its natural habitat. And we kind of need to see it, a little bit better on the thumbnails, just so it stands out and pops a bit more. But that's like a nitpick. I think the text is probably if you're going to add text, it should definitely be readable. It's a more valuable bit of advice there.
Title wise, then, turning junk metal into a beautiful hunting knife.
Ooh, before and after. What are we doing?
Yeah. Dan, good point. A transformation of a thumbnail. Yeah. What do we think these thumbnails are intriguing, or like just kind of say what you see, functional? What do we think?
I mean, with that title specifically, I would definitely lean into that transformation visually and bring that into the thumbnail. So like show the scrap metal so that someone can really see how you've taken this from, just some scraps into something really cool, and like push that transformation more visually to support that title, because that's a really cool concept.
Building an EDC. Does anybody know what EDC means?
Mm-mm.
So again, maybe a bit of accessibility questions, like just trying to make it more welcoming to a wider, broader audience might be something to consider there. Tori, pick one of these and let's watch it.
Let's go with the first one.
So the most recent one,
Yes.
this one. All right. I'll just bring it back to the beginning. There we go.
Wow.
Oh, I think it's suddenly gone into a time lapse. I did not change the speed there. Well, we're 30 seconds in.
Yeah.
I'll let it continue to run without the audio.
I was going to say, like, there's definitely a market for ASMR content like this where you see something come together. I would still love to see an experiment where you release the same video, but with commentary, like same exact edit. You don't slow down the edit or anything, but you literally talk about the things you're doing. Because I guess it's, again, maybe I'm not your target demo, but I'm not the kind of person who cares about the ASMR part. I'm like, why are you doing all these things?
Yeah.
How many times do you have to hit it? It still doesn't look like a knife. Why did you stop working on it at that point? What are you doing next? All that stuff is interesting to me. And again, it kind of speaks to that broad appeal of I might not ever build a knife myself out of scrap metal, but I'm still interested in watching someone else do it and bringing me along for the journey. It could be worth a test where you release alternate versions of your content just to see which one does better.
Are those all ants? Just at the top, I'm fascinated by what they're doing. Right, let me just crank up the audio for a second. Hang on, let me just check. Yeah, this is for me normal speed, but this is clearly sped up from what I can see.
Yeah.
There's something kind of visually satisfying as a trimming. That gives me like oddly satisfying vibes. I don't know if there's a Reddit channel which always describes these things. All right, let me mute it again. Tori, anything you'd like to add?
I think I agreed about the trying out with the commentary, because I guess my biggest question would be, Is the intrigue the process or just kind of the enjoyment of watching the knife come to life? I think that would be good data to like move forward with for this creator.
The question I have is, and I think this is why it leans into why some of the shorts have been more successful. Can this hold my attention for 10 minutes? This experience? I'm not sure if it can. Again, Dan, you were alluding to this. Maybe I'm not the demographic, but I would love to know the building process. How do you actually make this? What materials do you choose? What tool are you using now? Why have you decided to use this particular tool? What was the inspiration for this knife in the first place? What's the backstory behind it? And of course, we're not getting any of that in this 10-minute video. However, we go to shorts, and I feel as if just a short is naturally suited to something that... Is that playing?
Was the one above it the same shot, the same opening shot?
Looks like it.
So this looks like it's an abridged version of it, which is it's still quite long for a short. This is 2 minutes.
I would have already cut away from this part. Yeah, like a short,
Yeah.
I think you got to be really like...
And then stop, move to the next scene. Each scene should be like 2 or 3 seconds, shouldn't it? And that would get it down to 45 seconds, something along those lines.
Even like a hook with the raw piece of metal into the ground and then like the final product like thrown into something would be super cool, and then go into the process. That way you at least tease that transformation as a hook.
Mm-hmm. So I think maybe what we're getting at here is that there's obviously there's a craft here, and it's a craft that's difficult to replicate. Like, we would have no idea how to fix these things, but there's almost like a layman's interest. We kind of like to enjoy and watch the experience, but there perhaps needs to be an appreciation for, dare I say it, idiots like us who just want it to be a little bit faster, a little bit more to the point, less of the laboring on certain clips. But again, that could be the audience that this person is not trying to attract. But I think for somebody like myself who isn't necessarily interested in the making of knives, but could be persuaded by a really interesting video, I think this is what they would need to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of seems to have like the same sort of appeal as like a show like How It's Made, right? Like, we want to kind of see the whole process of how it's made, but bringing in some of that how piece, I think, would be really great.
Yeah, my recommendation would be for every single scene here, both on long form and shorts, remove 60% of it to try and leave like the action moments and less of a... I guess it's almost like the vocal pauses, isn't it? You're leaving in the silences, and here we're leaving in the video moments where nothing much is happening. But I think there's great potential in this channel.
Oh yeah,
especially for shorts. I think long form probably needs some more figuring out, especially with the length of the videos. But for shorts,
I've said this before, but it's been a while. Whenever somebody has like a skill set that is not natively, I make YouTube videos. Like this person is a weaponsmith, and they're trying to become a better weaponsmith. That's when I'm like, you're in the right place, because right now you're just pointing a camera at that, and learning the YouTube bits is where you want to be, because it's going to be so easy for you, in my opinion, to think of ideas for videos when you're not making content because you're a YouTuber first. Like, you understand all the YouTube parts, but now you got to like learn this other thing to keep up. You know, it's nice. It's nice when you have like a predetermined skill set going into YouTube. I feel like it makes part of the job really much easier.
All right, then, unless we have anything else to add, that is Blade's Myth. Good luck on your adventure, approaching the first monetization requirements there in terms of subscribers. In my absence again last week, you, as a community, did a phenomenal job with memes of the week. There were so many that I don't know if you're going to be able to follow all of these, but I tried to cram them all in. Again, Tori, this is something a little bit weird that we do every single week, and it looks like this. I do apologize if some of them went so fast that you couldn't read them. But as I said, there were so many submissions last week that it was incredible. And of course, we do it all over again this week. So once again, if you want to participate in Memes of the Week, you can go to our Discord server, and in a free portion of the Discord land, you will see Memes of the Week. I'm just curious, Dan, which one won Memes of the Week last week? Was it featured there?
I'm sure it was. I just don't remember now. I know it was one that really caught us. If anyone remembers, let me know.
Well, it's always good. And so now we have to think about who or what are we going to meme this week. Sorry, Dan?
Maybe it was the hot dog one.
The hot dog one. But who or what are we going to meme this week? Tori, yeah. I always ask if you are willing to be memed. No problem. If not, I have a backup if that is required. But would you like to become the meme of the week this week?
I am happy to become this week's meme.
Great stuff. Glad to hear it. So we put Tori full screen, and what you need to do now is take a screenshot. Tori, if you want to do any poses of any description or whatever, it's entirely up to you. But over the next 5 to 10 seconds, if you want to screenshot Tori and send in your memes. I remember that she's a retired GameCube enthusiast, likes to do hikes, recently got an Xbox, listen to audiobooks. Those are all things that you could potentially meme about Tori over the next 30 minutes. And whoops, I wasn't supposed to remove you. I was supposed to bring in the screen again. So if you put all of those memes in here, memes of the week, keep them clean, keep them safe for work, and we will pick a winner a little later on. Thank you, Tori, for being a willing volunteer.
I'm excited to see them. Do your worst, guys.
Has not let us down so far. Let's see what I come up with in around about 30 minutes' time. In the meantime, we've got another channel to audit here. Dan, Twin Chinese Mandarin. What have we got here? This looks like a challenging one for us to audit.
Yeah, they said they're trying to teach Chinese, like I'm pretty sure from the English perspective. And I just thought that was so cool. We see so many channels that focus on like entertainment and gaming and things like that. And this channel is just, they have a completely different goal. They didn't come in and be like, I'm trying to get 1 million views and get monetized. It's like, I want to like teach people this skill, this language. I thought that was very cool.
So the goal of the channel is to make learning Mandarin fun, simple and relevant to daily life, while also introducing the culture. Mm-hmm. And to Indonesian viewers, is that specifically who you're targeting? That's interesting.
So I might be wrong with the English.
What do you think is your biggest YouTube obstacle right now? Keeping educational content light and engaging. Yeah, we know the feeling there. Yep. So viewers enjoy learning without feeling overwhelmed. We just asked you to stop asking for subscribers and get people to watch other videos, and we find that overwhelming to try and teach. What part of your channel do you want us to focus on? Storytelling, pacing, and visual branding, thumbnails and titles to make them more engaging. All right, so what are our first impressions here?
So
I immediately feel they're a bit busy, these thumbnails. A lot of text, which I often see on language learning channels.
Yes, I was tricked by the titles being in English. I'm pretty sure, based on the thumbnails, I'm wrong about who the audiences are, but that's just me. What I will say is that what I was going to do is say we should just search for Learn Chinese on YouTube and kind of start to get a sense of like what the thumbnails look like in the space.
Do you think it would be Mandarin or Chinese that people are learning?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But
well, no, it's an interesting question, isn't it?
My lack of culture is showing.
The default is Chinese, but it's a Mandarin language. That is a killer thumbnail there from that channel.
Yeah, I wonder if the kind of chalkboard style is, not what they want to be going for.
Have you noticed this recently? I don't know if you've in the last week, I'm getting so many more shorts results when I just do searches.
I've been noticing that too.
Yeah.
Got to sort by videos too.
Yes, and I don't like it. I liked earlier in this experiment where the shorts were in their own little section, and then you could scroll through videos, and now they're just mixing them in.
I like that as a thumbnail as well. I know there's probably maybe too much information, but it's almost like I get what you're trying to do here. The English word, the Mandarin translation.
Even just like 3 of those versus quite so many would have the same impact with less busyness.
Mm-hmm.
So then going back to this channel, it's almost like I'm not sure where my eye should go first.
Yeah.
I typically like to say like 2 to 3 words for text
Yeah.
elements, like max. So I think that they could stand to pull some of the text elements off. Is
So
that
let's
the logo that's in a lot of those thumbnails?
yeah, let's take an example here. So we have text at the top, then that's what you're going to read first. Then maybe the Mandarin translation, then the lesson count, and then, as you say, Tori, we've got the channel branding. They are both in the thumbnails themselves, and then they've got a calendar. So what we're talking about, eight elements there, 7 or 8 elements. That's a lot for a potential viewer to consume.
The
In
little
a couple of
clocks
seconds.
and the calendars aren't really doing much for me concept-wise either, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because you could almost mistaken it to be, oh, this is about reading the time, or like this is how to schedule something into my calendar, which might be completely wrong. Oh, so these are actually about learning time. Huh.
Oh, okay.
Now we read the titles, but surely there's a much more visually intriguing way to pitch that in the thumbnails, right? Whether it be a certain day or like a number versus, and then the Mandarin translation next to it.
Yeah, wasn't really a clue at first, but I guess I see where they're coming from. But it's just the clock and the calendar are hidden behind the timestamp too. It makes it feel like they're just little clip art they put on there for fun, and it was not positioned to signal to me like this is going to teach you how to, read time in another language.
Yeah.
Maybe we
just,
should.
I was just going to check if I have, what we might call the most welcoming video there is about learning Chinese or Mandarin, which might be like a 30-minute introduction, like how to say your name and where you're from. The absolute basics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing that in the most popular. You would assume that something as simple as that would be the most popular video. Right now, it's, I think, something more about culture in China, or where they're from, Taiwan. And so, yeah, like learning Chinese numbers, learning days of a week. I know these are very simplistic things, but these are probably the most searched for and accessible to a complete beginner. And I'm wondering if like the master video should be there somewhere, if it isn't already.
Yeah, definitely a lot they can do in terms of just the very low-hanging fruit. Where does everyone's language learning journey start? And you should have a video on every single one of those.
You've put that perfectly, Dan. Where the lowest hanging fruit, which is where does their language learning journey start? And they should almost write a list down of 10 videos and make sure that they're covered.
Mm-hmm. Should we watch one though, and just see kind of what the setup is like and things? I know we might not understand what's going on, but
go for it, Dan. Let's pick a
the latest one.
All right. So combining time and date in Chinese.
Temuan tanggal 10 Juli 2025 jam 4 sore. Gimana ngomongnya? Pasti sulit banget. Tenang, gampang banget. Asal tahu caranya. Yuk kita pelajari bareng. So, tonton video
I'm trying to work out why the captions, which are in English, are kind of like grayed out a bit.
Ketemu lagi di channel Twin Chinese Mandarin. Aku Jovita dan aku Valita. Ayo belajar Mandarin bersama Twin.
You can pause it.
All right, okay, Dan, I'll pause it.
There's quite a lot of intro. They start in kind of the middle of the video to give you a taste of what's coming up. Then they introduce themselves, and now there's an intro playing for the whole channel. It's not too long, but it is taking. We're almost a minute into the video, and it's taking kind of a while to get into just the very basics. And I think it should really just start with today. We're going to learn this, and this, and then introduce yourselves. I would lose the intro because a lot of people, like, your channel is kind of covering culture and language, and that might be two different audiences on one channel, which you can do. But some of the audience is going to be there for the language learning. Some of them are going to be there for the culture stuff, and they might not cross over a lot. I see the temptation to put that intro together, but some are like, I don't need to know every single time I watch one of your videos that you're about entertainment and culture and this. Like, I'm here to like learn this very like specific skill. So that's kind of where I'm at, just from the actual structure and intro of the videos.
I'm looking at the captions to follow what they're saying, and it feels as if the level of Mandarin language that they're speaking at is significantly higher than the things that they're teaching, which is to tell the time. So they're time indicators. Would you know what a time indicator is if it was said in Mandarin? If you're trying to learn time in Mandarin, maybe I'm wrong here, but it feels as if the communication level is not in sync with the learning of a language. I may be wrong there.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've taught. I used to teach English as a second language, but I always used to remember to go really slowly and clearly and almost repeat myself several times while showing something on the board. And it feels as if they're moving at quite a pace here.
That's a really good call out. And since you have that like experience, that's what I was going to say is like, what's really, really, really important with language learning is the curriculum itself. And different educators are going to have like a different style. And I'm not trying to learn another language. I've never tried to teach another language. So I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, well, this is too fast or too slow. But Rob, you have a little bit of experience here. You're kind of picking up on that. The recommendation that I guess would be not just YouTube advice they should be seeking, but they should be looking into structuring a curriculum, it sounds like, based on just your observations.
Mm-hmm. We've covered a lot there, Tori. Is there anything we've missed or you've spotted as well?
Just with the intro, I would definitely focus on trying to get to the lesson as quickly as possible, because especially if I'm finding this through search for some of those more basic lessons, I'm really wanting to get into that content as quickly as possible. So I would probably do away with the intro as well, and just like the branding across the thumbnails, and focus more on the value towards the viewer in the packaging in the intro.
Just wondering if I can find that's probably too simple. Let's just listen to this one.
Hello, I'm Yishuang from HarveyMandarin.com. In our last lesson,
okay,
we
so
learned
they're
how to tell
teaching
time in Chinese
in English.
and how to ask what time.
I do get the idea of like a fully immersive way of learning where you're only speaking to your quote unquote students in the language that you're learning. But it did feel as if it was pretty tricky to follow what was going on.
I think
for 12 minutes.
I thought, I'm not a big language person. I thought what they're trying to do is teach a different native language speaker, not English, Chinese, Mandarin. So there's two different languages in this video, and we can't understand either of them, is what I thought was going on. Is that where you're at?
I don't think so.
Because the title is in English, but is that our browser translating it for us? Or is it supposed to be that immersive? Like
that I don't know. I don't think
when you mentioned that first clip might have been like a teaser for later in the video, I wonder if that works in this sort of space though, because if I don't know anything about reading time in that language, a teaser for later in the lesson might be overwhelming to me as someone who's just getting started learning.
Yeah. It might be a little overwhelming.
Maybe we go back to like the packaging itself. The packaging is fairly complex. Does that... So are they speaking in Indonesian?
That's what I'm kind of getting at. At first, I thought it was...
Maybe we're getting confused.
Right. I thought it was English when we started this because of the titles.
Yeah.
It could have just been a browser
Whoops.
translation, or maybe they are doing titles in English, and that could be our advice. Don't do that. It's confusing. But yeah, if they might be speaking two completely different languages that are not native to us. They're speaking Indonesian and they're teaching Chinese. So yes, two languages.
Thank you for clarifying. Okay.
Yes.
So
thank you.
I guess ignore what we were saying maybe about the full immersion of speaking in Mandarin, speaking Indonesian, and trying to educate in Chinese. Yeah, we've been thrown here. But like, why is the banner in English? And this is where there's certain countries can kind of almost use multiple languages and just weave in and out of one effortlessly, and we're always envious of that.
What we don't understand is how many people who speak Indonesian also know English to the point where it makes sense to put this all in English, right? Like the titles, the banner, all that stuff. But if that's the case, then I would still be speaking in English if you're going to use that as the language to bridge the two. So it's very confusing. Like at no point do they speak English in the videos, it seems, from what we've watched, but yet all this other stuff is in English. And I don't know what the strategy is there. And enough channels do this to where I'm suspicious that I shouldn't advise against it, but I don't know. The banners not all are in English. Jam, for example, means time. Lesson, culture, entertainment, hello, Taiwan. The banner is fully in English. Yeah. But yes, I know that Jam wasn't talking about like jams and jelly.
Yeah, you know what I think our let's walk away from this without doing any damage advices
right
generally is, I think, simplify. Certainly the packaging.
Yeah.
Even though we weren't able to follow the language, I think in the videos there was a lot of things appearing on screen in terms of text, and also the intro, which I think what YouTube sometimes does is it finds like something similar in each of the videos, and then it adds, like, all of these is showing the intro. And I always find it interesting when each video seems to default to showing the intro, which probably means that it's too dominating. Mm-hmm. So that could be cut back as well. And I guess maybe small apologies if we haven't fully understood the channel or it's taken us too long to get there. But like, as Dan said, like, commend the channel for what they're doing and their approach, their like value proposition, the why they're here. And obviously tons of enthusiasm from the teachers themselves in the videos as well. I think we should do some super chats because I want to make sure I cover them before I forget. So first of all, well done to Jeep Psychology for sending this super chat, and for Dan for remembering us to bring up this super chat because I lost it on my screen. It's easy for someone in the Jeep niche to keep the Duck Jeep crowd engaged with shiny little decorative trinkets. But how do you keep the chest-beating Neanderthals, they've used that phrase before, I'm sure of it, engaged without breaking things? Financial suicide.
Breaking things. So they're saying that they get more views when stuff goes wrong.
Yeah.
And they don't want their channel to be about crashing Jeeps into walls.
Yeah.
I think. Find investors and buy a lot of Jeeps. And
yeah, you got one sponsor potentially interested. I
want to know what the Duck Jeep crowd means.
Yeah, that's been lost in translation.
Is that like the little ducks on the dash that all the Jeep people do? Is that
a thing?
I'm yes,
aware of it.
It's definitely a thing.
What's the answer here? Then is it almost like they take the opposite approach to this, whereby they try and test their vehicle to breaking point without breaking it? In other words, like economy of fuel, like can I go on certain rough terrain and it'll survive this?
How much weight until this winch rips off the front bumper?
But yeah, let not that happen. Like we test it to its breaking point, but it doesn't actually do that. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Any other ideas that we can think of?
We've looked at their channel one or two times now,
yeah,
and recently I think. I would say that if something breaks on camera, that is a great moment for views, not for you financially speaking, but it could be if the views pick up past the value of the thing you broke. And I don't think you should be aiming for that. I don't think the goal should be, gosh, it's great when I break stuff. I should try to figure out situations that could cause that. It's just coming up with more content buckets to try different things so that, you know, if stuff breaks, yeah, you got a video there. But if stuff doesn't break, what else can the videos be about? And I don't, it's hard. I'm not like a Jeep person. I didn't even know about the ducks. So I know that we had some, I feel like I stand by the advice we gave the last time we looked at the channel. I felt like we were kind of getting into some interesting stuff. I think maybe it was, Rob, were you there? It was Jen and myself for sure.
I was there, yes, but
Okay.
I can't remember what you said.
I can't either, but I feel like it was good. I'm going to trust past Dan on that one.
Yeah.
Which can
All right.
survive the hydraulic press. That's great.
Mr. Master, wow, thank you for a $50 super chat. That's incredible. Please, if you want to invest that much in your channel, I recommend getting a coach from vidIQ. It's not much more expensive.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, which video stats are better? A video with 1,200 views and 3 likes, or a video with 800 views and 13 likes? Give me both the long form answer and the shorts answer if they are different. P.S. Thanks for starting the show, Rob.
Okay, I gotta read this one a couple times.
I kind of worry that this is where somebody's kind of asking the wrong questions because they're kind of getting obsessed about a particular metric, because it could be the same as which is better, 10,000 views with 5% click-through rate or 1,000 views with 10% click-through rate. It's so hard to judge videos based on a single metric because there are so many other influential factors.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being honest, 3 likes on a 1,200 view video sounds like there's not that much engagement going on. They're fairly disconnected from the content. They're not watching for long enough. So, 13 likes from 800 views seems like a bit more engagement, but are you getting comments that are associated with those likes? And as the audience view duration kind of increase as well, because people are more engaged and more satisfied, it's a really tricky question to answer. And I worry that the creator is getting too deep into the weeds here of trying to find the magic number, which means that their video will be a success if they get so many likes per view, so many likes per video views.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at. I think it's a matter of, yes, if you got 3 likes on 1,200 views, but maybe you never said to anything but the like button, but in the 800 view video, you mentioned it. There could be 1,000 things going on. I would be more focused on like the topics and, overall just the ideas and stuff that you're coming up with and packaging and all that other stuff, because the views and likes will naturally flow in if you just continue to focus on making good content.
Jeep Psychology is back, and since Dan and I answered the last one, I'm going to first one to you first, Tori. What are your thoughts on multiple hooks and multiple calls to action within the same video, such as asking the audience questions and asking them to answer in the comments?
I think it really depends on pacing, placement, and what types of call to actions you're using. I love doing multiple hooks throughout my videos. I call them like mini retention boosters throughout, and I try to evenly pace them to re-engage my audience, at a regular cadence throughout my video, but putting the most impactful hook at the beginning in those first 15 seconds. As with asking the audience questions, I like to do this for retention as well, because if I've kind of like mentally checked out and someone directly asked me a question, I'm going to kind of like mentally check back in like I had missed something. So I think that can be a really good strategy for retention as well. I think it becomes overkill when it's a lot of asks of the viewer without a lot of value coming to the viewer from them. So likes, subscribes, too many of those, not well spaced, I think can become a retention deterrent.
I agree with that. Definitely, the more hooks you can introduce, the better, because it means that it's keeping the story or the video flowing. But yeah, getting people to do stuff is hard. Getting them to do more than one thing, they just check out. I kind of have this policy where I try and ask a simple but open-ended question at the beginning of videos within the first minute to get them thinking about the topic that we're talking about. And then I try and explain it or go into more information later on. But I only ever ask one question. So I feel as if you ask them another question, it's like, oh, was I supposed to answer the first question in the comments or the second one? I don't know. It can easily get overwhelming from that point of view.
In the video I'm releasing tomorrow, I ask a question for the comments, and I don't throw to another video because I'm pretty certain they're going to do one or the other. They're going to go to the next video or answer my question, and I want them to answer my question.
Boom. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It can be helpful too to do it at a time where you've just provided a good bit of value, so they're feeling really thankful to you for the information that they've gotten, and that ask will feel like a little bit easier for them to want to go do. Is something that I like to do as well.
Mystery Master with the 5 vidIQ memberships. Thank you. Whoever gets them, emote as much as you can during the live stream. There are 200,000 of that currency. Wow, we're almost millionaires. I guess it's Vietnamese, whatever. Appreciate it. My country is celebrating the 80th anniversary of Vietnam's National Day, the 2nd of September, 1945. My hope is my channel keeps growing. By the way, there is a Kajiki typhoon in Vietnam today and last day, but luckily some people still fine. Well, we'll hope everything is fine over there in Vietnam. Best of luck for you and the safety of everybody there. And thank you for the super chat and that message. And here we have Minecrafter Joe, who's gifted a single vidIQ membership. Can you imagine if they gifted it and it was given to them, like completely randomly? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Is that possible, Dan?
I think you have to be a member to gift memberships, but don't quote me on that.
And then more love from Vietnam today. I think that's the same person with 20,000 Vietnamese things. And now also from Raw Wisdom, 400 NGNs. Is that a Norwegian? I don't know, but just thank you for all of this stuff that you're sending us. We appreciate it. Lovely stuff there. And I think that is all of the super chats for now. I highly recommend you do not send us any more super chats because we might not be able to answer them in this live stream. Although just a final mention here, I forgot to show this one at the very beginning. Debbie6143 is now being a member for 25 months, over 2 years. Bruh. That is your custom sound effect for the week. I think we should pick our Boost member Discord winner. And I'm trying to figure out how I should do this. Let me just check the numbers. All right.
18.
I've got 18 submissions here. So, Tori, how do I do this? What I'm going to do, instead of asking you to say between 1 and 18, because you'll never pick 1 and you'll never pick 18. And if you do it now, it'll feel like it's complete bias. So what I'm going to do in the background, so you can't see this, but I'm scrolling up and down the Discord server now, and you just need to say stop, and I will stop at some point, and that's the channel we'll pick. So whenever you want to say it, I will stop scrolling.
Stop.
All right. So
now the thing is, he never scrolled all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom.
I did. I assure you I did. And the winner of the Boost channel here is Blind Judo Journey with Miles Solomon. I'm already fascinated by this channel, and we haven't even put in the URL. So well done on winning that complete lottery of a Discord choice. So you have 6,000 subscribers, 450 videos. And here we are. What do we think initially?
Go ahead,
Dan.
No, please.
The more recent thumbnails have some good contrast with the text versus some of the older ones. The one with the blue text is really, really hard to read. So I think that's been a good pivot they've made in like recent uploads.
Yeah, this is a thumbnail journey. I guess it depends. You know what it looks like to me is they're not taking a dedicated thumbnail image. So depending on where they are, depends on how the thumbnail looks, especially the background. My guess is like they're often training in this room. So they get a lot of thumbnails that have this blue background. But then when they're at events, it looks completely different. as an observation.
Yeah. I think the latest thumbnails that are just going over different I want to say moves or routines or whatever. These feel like I would expect them to feel.
Yeah.
You know, there's like just a few words of text. Don't do this, and then titles feel like kind of engaging. Why you suck at this specific thing, or 3 judo openings you need to know even if you're blind. Like these are titles that I think are easy to understand, especially if you understand judo.
Just having a look at what's out there on YouTube as potential.
6 years ago. Oh wow.
Lots of action shots.
Yeah. So it's a bit zoomed in, bit more zoomed in, these ones. And sometimes they do what's called a stroke effect. So like we're just kind of outlining the person, which gives them makes them a bit sharper. Or in the middle of a move motion there. So going back to our hero channel, perhaps there needs to be a bit more emphasis on the move rather than the text.
Yeah.
To zoom in a little bit more.
There's also some of the thumbnails are a bit dark. So like the second one, the lighting is just kind of messed up. And then the yellow text is also blending into it because everything's just a bit darker than the latest one. And, you know, you want everything to kind of pop. They are doing mid-action shots, but maybe the angle isn't as like exciting as some of the other angles we saw in the really popular videos.
Yeah, my guess is, again, they're just taking the best freeze frame from a fixed camera.
Yeah.
And maybe they want to just say, you know what, for this, what we're going to do is we've done this move, but now I just need to take I'm going to do some really rubbish graffiti on the thumbnail here. So somebody stood here with a camera. So they're just getting like an angle there much closer up after the fact. Maybe worth investigating if they have somebody at hand to help them with that thumbnail.
Yeah.
And you know, we've also got to try and appreciate here that this person is blind.
Yeah.
And so the visual side of this might be a little bit of a challenge. So full credit for you for having these custom thumbnails, which have some attention to detail for the average viewer. Because I was wondering how much they would lean into this unique, I guess, challenge they have in, you know, like in a very, I would say, visual sport. Like you've got to be aware of your surroundings and things. So the most popular videos do not seem to be telling that story that I can see. I don't know if I have spoken about this particular story and journey that they're on in any of their videos. It might be something to investigate. But yeah, they've got plenty of outliers here from previous videos on the channel.
Absolutely.
Shall we watch? Let's try this one. 3 judo openings you need to know, even if you're blind. I like the way they've pitched that. It's not 3 judo openings if you are blind, because that would really narrow the niche. It's like saying, even if you were blind, these would be really useful to know, like being a complete beginner or physically challenged in some way. Anyway, let's listen to this.
In judo, you can't throw people if you don't have hands on. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 strategies for getting your hands onto the gi. Then I'm going to show you a couple of ways in which those can be modified for lefties and righties. Then I'm going to show you how you can practice these on your own or with someone else. And finally, I'm going to explain why these are super important to do, even if you're blind like me. I'm Miles Solomon.
I love the energy there, and really clear.
Well structured, yeah.
The audio isn't perfect, but they are kind of projecting their voice so I can still hear them. Where could we possibly improve this intro?
Some pattern interrupts would be nice, like some B-roll of the 3 moves that you're planning on teaching, just to add some more visual dynamics to that intro.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
So it might be when he's mentioning one of the moves, like whatever that is, that could have been placed over the description of it.
That would just provide even more context, right, to like what I'm going to be learning. He already had such a good structured script that would like take it like one step further for me to actually see like exactly what I'm going to learn.
Yeah.
And now as I'm scrolling over this, it's all from a fixed position. Now,
Yeah.
am I asking too much of this creator to suggest if it's worth setting up like a 2 or 3 camera setup? So you have, let's just go back to the video again. Nope, I've gone too far backwards there. Well, let's go to the most recent one again. We have the full-on camera, but then also, again, just out of shot, one camera which is kind of looking at an angle there. I don't know why I'm drawing people, but imagine these are cameras with tripods. And then another one which is kind of at an angle there. And then you can almost switch between the 3 as you're recording so that they get a different look at the move, or you can repeat the move from a different angle.
Yeah.
This creates a lot of technical challenges and more footage to work through, but I'm kind of challenging the creator a little bit because they've made 500 videos at this point. I feel as if there's an opportunity here just to improve production values a little bit.
I agree. I think given that cameras, they come in all shapes and sizes now and different price points, it's probably not, I don't think you're asking too much. Maybe there's some saving they need to do budget-wise if this is something they want to do, but it would provide better angles potentially for thumbnails. It would give it would make all of it more dynamic, you know? And I think with something like this, if you're trying to learn, it is very important to kind of like keep up with what's going on. If a hand movement needs to be shown from a different angle, that could be very, very helpful. Yeah. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if any of these moves are technical, having a closer look at like exactly the hand placement or anything would be super helpful for someone learning.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanting to look around, see what they're doing with shorts. Look at this for an outline here. How long is this? Let me just check.
And I finally just graduated with a Masters in Mathematics and Statistics from the University of Oxford.
Wow, he's been to Oxford. I'm glad that didn't impale anyone on the way down.
Yeah.
Quite high.
I'm Maha Solomon, I'm blind, and I finally just graduated with a Masters in Mathematics.
So that was a whole shot. The reason I bring it up is because it's got 4.5 million views. It's not related to the channel, and the channel has 6,000 subscribers and a total of 5.5 million views. So I'm just wondering how this may be influencing other parts of the channel.
Maybe a little, but I don't think they made a habit of doing stuff like that.
No. So it seems like a one-off, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm of the mind that it's such a cool story. It kind of gives me more, it lets me know more about who they are. And I like it. I though normally we'd say, oh, if it's bringing the wrong audience, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's one video. And I really do find it endearing. And I would not recommend touching it personally.
Cool. They're on a journey to the Paralympic Games as well in 3 years' time.
That's awesome.
So we wish you all of the best on that journey as well. Yeah, I'm wondering if little vlogs on that would be interesting opportunities to tell stories as well.
I was wondering that too. If they were to go into their gym, I don't know what you'd call it. But if they imagine them like getting ready for their day and vlogging on the way in and talking about how today, like I'm going to be practicing this, this, and this, it's going to, bring me one step closer to reaching this goal. Like that kind of storytelling could be very fun to follow along with if they want to try that kind of content.
Any final thoughts from you, Tori, on the judo channel?
I definitely think it would be worth exploring adding some visual variety into the videos. I think that would be really, really helpful from a viewer standpoint. But I think it's so amazing what you're doing, and I think you should keep after it.
All right. You may have noticed that I went onto full screen here because I was just vetting a certain Discord channel that contains memes of the week, and it's looking pretty clean to me. So then, Tori, This is your moment. Not that you have to do anything. This is your moment to shine.
I'm nervous.
Here we go then. I do not know why Dan's been there from Vicky, but there we go. All right, so here we go. What's the best YouTube monetization? Number of views or super chats and stickies? When I don't hear the question more than 3 times, so I can't say pardon me. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, this is AI, isn't it? This is my life. Sure, I'll be a mean face, but I'm charging royalties. Went on a 2-hour hike to listen to your book. Realizes they didn't charge their phone after they get there. Oh yeah, how often has that happened when you've been out on a hike, or you really need the battery, or you got to go to power save mode?
Not as bad on a hike, but if that happens at the gym, game over.
Oh no!
Now, is this a video? The feeling you get when you remove the ladders from the swimming pool in the. That's exactly what my wife used to do.
Oh, I think, we've all been there.
Oh, everybody used to do it, right? Yeah. Oh, this is a bit terrifying. The copyright system. Looking at reaction channels.
Oh, that's scary.
They always ramp up in quality as we keep going.
Me, when I just bought a game I'm never going to play for a discount. Yeah, that is it, Dan. So let me ask you this. Yeah. How many games do you have in your Steam library? Because my brother-in-law has about 700.
I am in the several hundreds. It's not probably quite 700. I just bought one over the weekend and did that same thing. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, dear. Oh, God. This one, where am I? This one's going to take too long to read. All right. Great meeting, everyone. Is there anything else would like to add before we call it a day? Oh, I almost forgot. Dan, you've been able testing those thumbnails. I've been sending you for a second channel, right? How's those been doing? We have a second channel. Oh, there we go. That's a nice one. Do you recognize that at all, Tori?
Somebody, right?
Is it? When you realize you forgot to hit go live 3 hours ago, why is Dan there?
What happened to my face?
I don't know. Yeah. Interesting. Newest host, Tori. She's proof that you can have your candy and create great content too. Welcome aboard. Is that a reference to Jen and Travis's continued arguments
sounds
over?
Like it.
Take a hike.
I like that one.
Yeah. When you think your thumbnail is good, yes, but no. Nope.
Every time.
Oh, that's a nice one. What's Netflix got to do with it, though?
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
When no one understands my meme, he must use me. That one person in Discord. Yeah, I can see that. All right. Do I have to click on these ones? Oh, look at that. How cool is that?
Oh, that is cool.
But you've made it into
better
a
than the one I created for myself in the game.
Nice. Yeah. That's right. Giving YouTube advice with ice class sometimes it just works differently. Yeah. That's kind of true, isn't it? Yeah, we were struggling on that one a bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, you do need to have a small head on at least one of these memes.
And there it is.
Oh, and Jez made a return. Wow, he's doing really well now. 70,000 people watching. Wow. Cool. That's good work, Jem. Well, look at this. We got Menos also making an appearance. First guns, now knives. All right. Right. And what I'm a little disappointed in is that nobody used the mirror, for some really creepy face and just in the mirror, missed opportunity now. Missed opportunity. we have to pick one of these then, Tori. Which one is going to get audited? Do you have a favorite here?
Oh, my mind is in The Sims, I think.
Yeah.
Was my favorite.
So there was a couple, wasn't there?
The other one was...
And that's the very top. I can't find the other one, so I guess it's going to be... Is this the winner?
I think that one's my favorite. That was good.
So the other one was about, it didn't actually have a Sims in it, but it was about removing ladders from swimming pools.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that one. So it's either Card Catch Quest or... That's so far apart. Where's it gone now? There we go. Or Russell Pierce.
Do I have final say?
You do, yes. These are your memes.
Let's go with Russell. I thought he
right.
really knocked it out of the park with
Well done,
the AI
Russell.
there.
We will take a look at what I think is also a travel channel, or not quite a travel channel. I think we've audited this channel before, Dan. I'm getting deja vu vibes here a little bit. But anyway, RP Wild Travels with 1,500 subscribers, nearly 200 videos, and leaning into a bit of Clarkson's Farm there. Bit of trend jacking.
A little bit text heavy on some of them, I would think.
Given that it's a wildlife channel, yeah, we would think that the hero should be these kind of amazing shots and images, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one with the scope almost is looking more like a gear review kind of thumbnail.
I think we've looked at this channel before whereby some of their more popular content was revolving around the gear that they're using and how it helps them take the best shots, and whether the best use of this is to have like an incredible shot like this, but then the actual video is almost like a review of the tool that they're using. They
tried to bring the animal into the lens space on that top one.
Which one would that be?
Birds inside the circle of the lens.
Yeah.
I think it's just almost too small that it's not noticed at first glance.
Yeah.
I didn't notice you pointed out, but I do find that to be a little creative thing.
Yeah.
So these would be, are you thinking these are thumbnails that work a little bit better then?
Yeah, I think with wildlife being a core element of the channel and the, kind of focal point of how they're using the gear they're reviewing, that it should be probably included visually in the thumbnail.
I'm just trying to understand the value proposition here.
They are very gear focused in this about.
Yeah. Which comes first? Is it the gear or the wildlife? Because that can be really, really important to a viewer, couldn't it?
Because I think visually I'm getting the wildlife more than the gear in the thumbnails.
I can't remember what I said about this channel last time, but what I'm going to say, potentially contradicting myself now that I understand the about section more, is that I think that they've used that camera in the thumbnail a couple times, show more gear, but show it from different angles and perspectives. Take a picture with your phone of your camera pointed at some wildlife, stuff like that. If this is going to be about the art of photographing wildlife, then I think you could get more creative with the way you're showing off the thumbnails, because it is hard. I remember struggling with this last time too. Is it more wildlife or is it more camera review? And I have no idea what I remember saying. I don't remember what I said last time, but I was probably trying to focus on one or the other. Understanding that this is I shoot wild animals with a camera. It's okay, then I think you can do that. It just needs to be way more clear in all the thumbnails.
I think certainly in this canvas of thumbnails right here, the text dominates mostly, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. But when I look at some of the thumbnails where the nature is more strongly represented, especially like these two, which I think are pretty strong thumbnails, they just haven't seemed to have picked up any traction at all.
Yeah.
And these are kind of more these are kind of more looking at the capturing and the moments of nature in its rawest form. Whereas, something here that like the massive lens, that's just more like of a gear review. And that video is kind of not an outlier as such, but performing better.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like they just like, can you spot the hidden wildlife in this field? That does not sound like a photography video at all. Obviously, you need a camera to make that video, but that's not the same thing. And I think people are probably getting to know you for your more technical side of photography in this topic. So videos like that, I'm not surprised if they don't work.
Let's quickly watch this most recent one, Dan, because you were talking about taking a picture with your phone of your camera pointing at something. This kind of does it, like they're all camouflage. That's a
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's because I think the halo around the pigeon is kind of dominating the thumbnail.
Maybe an arrow that says me with an arrow, like, you know what I mean? That stuff like that to try and point to. Anyway.
Yeah.
So we're really close to the thumbnail I was talking about.
You might just turn around and go, well, that's too freaky. I'm going to go and fly off. Yeah, all right. Oops, sorry, baby girl.
This is still coming up.
So, yeah, I thought the first 15 seconds there were pretty good. There was a nice hook. Yeah. There was a tease. And then it's almost like, right, well, here's my second hook or my second intro. Like, we should be starting a video at this point.
Yeah.
But I thought that was more than an adequate first 15 seconds to get me interested.
Yeah. I agree. It was just, we didn't need to continue the coming up part. It still says coming up. It's just really faint. In the corner.
I know. It does.
Like, so no, let's like get to the journey now. Like today I'm trying to photograph this specific bird and it's real wily. So I'm hoping we can, capture it in its natural habitat.
Good morning.
Here we go.
We're back in autumn. No, we're not.
So it should have done that first 15 seconds and then jumped to this bit, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Back in Otmore. And we're going to continue our adventure of looking for this cuckoo. Today's plan is to go into the same meadow that we went to yesterday. And we're going to spend at least the morning there.
I think that's good audio, especially for outdoors. And you don't have to necessarily critique the quality here too much because it's it's kind of in its raw element. And I think that adds to the authenticity. Obviously, when you're getting those amazing shots and footage, then the quality needs to be at its best. But right now, I think you just recording your entire journey is pretty cool.
There's also the huge barrier with the title for me. Like, I might be interested in this content, but it's too DIY stick blind for wildlife photography. Like, the first words don't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what a stick blind is. And I don't know if I need to know to appreciate what you're doing. And I'd be thinking about that total addressable market when it comes to your title, because that's probably the biggest reason people might not be clicking. I don't know what that is. And they keep scrolling.
I'd also almost expect like a DIY formatted video, like you're teaching me how to do something. So there might be misalignment with like the type of content that someone is getting when they click into that title too.
It should have at least told me what that is and had it like at the bed of your truck or whatever you're driving out there. Like, okay, so I'm using this DIY thing. I made this out of a stick I found in my backyard, and what we're gonna do, that could have at least helped me introduce me to this kind of like thing I haven't heard of before.
All righty, everybody. We have gone deep into several channels today. I do apologize that we've not made it to the... And it probably won't be back next week if Dan is hosting. But otherwise, everybody say a wonderful thank you to Tori for making her debut appearance. How was that for you, Tori? Everything go well?
Oh, I had a great time. It was so fun to look at so many different kinds of channels and interact with you guys. I'm so honored to have had the opportunity.
Pleasure to have you on. We will certainly have you on again in the future. In the meantime, Dan, what are your final words?
Good luck.
Good luck. Whatever you're doing in the world, wave awkwardly. Hang on, let me put on the screen where we can all see our waves. There we are. Bye, everybody.
Good luck.
See you next week.